Hey everybody, Chris DeMakes, a podcast producer, Chris Fafali is here. It's Throwback Thursday again, and instead of a Throwback Thursday DeMakes episode this week, this is a Throwback One-Hit Thunder episode from not that long ago. This is part 2 of our THUNDRED series, counting down the 100 greatest one-hit wonders of all time, which we put together from the lists of our listeners. I've been thinking about doing a THUNDRED on DeMakes as well, where we accumulate the lists of listeners like you to make a top 100. I just haven't decided what the topic should be. Top 100 punk rock albums, maybe. Top 100 90s albums. Top 100 songwriters. I'm open to suggestions, and I've even considered that maybe we should do one big crossover THUNDRED series between Chris DeMakes a Podcast and One Hit Thunder. We'll figure it out. In the meantime, if you haven't already heard it, this is number 80 through number 61 of the greatest one-hit wonders of all time.
One hit is all you need to make the money guaranteed, and you can live off royalties forever. And it makes me wonder, is it just a wonder, or is it one hit thunder?
All right, Matt, we're back. This is exciting stuff, as I'm sure you'd agree.
Yeah, I was fairly shocked by 100 to 81. Now, if you remember, last week I said every one of these I'm going to make a prediction of a song I think is in the top 10. Last time was Dexy's Midnight Runners. Don't feel 100% on that. I feel pretty confident about this next prediction, though. Sinead O'Connor. I think Sinead O'Connor makes our top 10. But now I'm going to pass the mic to you. What do we have at 80 here?
I'm not giving away anything about the top 10 because we got a long way to go. But you want to jump right into it. You're ready to rock.
I have been thinking about this since the last time we recorded. So
okay, I bet. Well, you'll be glad to know, Matt, that at number 80 is one of the songs on your list.
Yes.
At number 80, The Buggles. Video Killed the Radio Star.
What did you tell them? Video killed the radio star. Video killed the radio star. Pictures came and broke your heart. Oh.
I think that should be bigger. I think that's just like one of the most famous songs in music history and probably one of the most famous one-hit wonders in music history. But, now I think back at it, when we talked about that, didn't they have a second song that did somewhat decently on the charts? The, Living in Plastic or something like that?
I'm not so sure about that. I don't know that they had a song. Well, here's the thing. First of all, let me start by saying you had this at number 8 on your list.
Okay.
So you didn't put it too high. But I do think the thing about this song is that it maybe wasn't necessarily a hit. It was more just the first song on MTV and, of course, the last song on MTV, and that people kind of knew it from the music video because it was released in 1979, but became way more well-known by being the first video ever played on MTV on August 1st of 1981 and the last one on December 31st of 2025. The Buggles, of course, were Jeff Downes, Trevor Horn, and Bruce Woolley, and I don't know if you knew this or remember this, Matt, but Thomas Dolby was also a producer on the song as well as the guys in the band.
That makes sense because you knew that, I think one of the things that we've really learned about as we've been doing this podcast is that, in 1979, there were, 10 dudes who were really proficient with a specific type of keyboard sound, and they all were making music around each other. So I feel like it's the Buggles, it's Thomas Dolby, and it's Gary Newman, I feel like, are the three guys or the three musical entities that really were the first to do the synth heavy music that became the sound of the 80s. So it doesn't shock me that they would be working together on a project like that.
Yeah, I would also throw Howard Jones in the mix. I would throw Kate Bush in the mix. I would throw Peter Gabriel in there. And I'm sure there are a few more that I'm not remembering. But yeah, Video Killed the Radio Star only reached number 40 in the U.S. It peaked in the top 10 in Canada, Germany, New Zealand, and South Africa. Not only did it make your list, Matt, but it also made the lists of Steve Jones, Steve Parpart, and Curtis Gathright.
I mean, listen, I love this song. I unironically love this song, and I also think that our boys in the President's United States of America does one of the best versions of this song for sure. But covered by a lot of people. Ben Folds has covered this. Weston has covered this. Like a lot of groups that we like are fans of Video Killed the Radio Star.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised it wasn't a little higher, but then again, maybe it is right where it should be based on its chart performance and how big of a hit it actually was.
Yeah.
At number 79, Stroke 9, Little Black Backpack.
Turn around, he's on his back and don't wanna tangle with you. I'd rather tangle with him. I think I'm gonna bash his head in. And this shouldn't concern you except that just don't expect to get your bloody black back.
Okay. I mean, from the show standpoint, if I recall correctly, this was when we had John from 9 Days on. He picked Stroke 9. And I think secretly, I don't know if I ever told you this, he wanted to know if I could have the lead singer of Stroke 9 hidden behind the scenes for the first 45 minutes of our episode. And then he's like, and then just based on what Chris says, like, bring him out like a Jerry Springer guest.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I don't think I can do that to Chris. That would be mean.
Wow. I don't think I took them to task very hard. Stroke 9,
No.
that is.
Stroke 9, I think, is A, a good band. B, I think they actually have some songs better than Little Black Backpack. And I mean, you might tell me something that completely flips my mind on it, but I think that this is one of those classic, one-hit wonder on the modern rock charts, but really barely even sniffed the Hot 100 situation, right?
Yeah, this was very much a minor hit. It didn't even chart on the Hot 100. It was more of like a college rock hit.
Yeah.
It was released in 1999. It was from the band's third album, Nasty Little Thoughts. And of course, the song was inspired by the women's fashion trend of the late 90s of the little black backpacks. Also interesting, this song was produced by Jerry Harrison of Talking Heads, and we had both Luke and Greg from Stroke 9 on Chris DeMakes a Podcast to discuss writing this song. And I got to say, full disclosure, Matt, this was a challenging edit on my part that you would appreciate as an editor of podcasts, as it was two people and one of them was in their car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not always ideal, but they were super cool guys. I just wish they would have not been in a car. But this was listener Chris Connaughton's number one song on his list.
Love that. I mean, that's a wild number one song, Chris, but all right.
Big Stroke 9 fan. At number 78, Sister Hazel, All For You.
Hard to say what it is I see in you. Wonder if I'll always be with you. Words can't say, I can't do enough to prove it's all for you.
Listen, you know I'm a Hazelhead.
Hazelnut. You ain't no hazelnut. You don't even know what the fans are called.
I mean, this song's great. It's been talked about on Chris DeMakes. It's been talked about on One Hit Thunder. Really cool band. Hardcore following. So far, nothing has felt like super not in the right spot, but just based on how much they have been able to do and how beloved this song is, I wouldn't have been shocked if this was a little bit higher, but I definitely think that it should be on the 100. It shouldn't be past the 50 mark. I think that this is a good placement.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good place for this song. I like this song. It was released in January of 1997. It peaked at number 11 on the Hot 100. Despite its place on the Hot 100, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find someone that doesn't know this chorus.
100%.
This chorus feels like quintessential 90s. It was the debut single from their debut album. And yes, we had Ken Block of Sister Hazel on Chris DeMakes a Podcast to discuss writing and recording this song. And I got to say, Ken's one of the nicest guys in music, in my opinion. This song made the list of our listeners Ty Ayers and Jared Galton, who I think we talked about both of those guys on the last episode. Now, we got a lot of lists, and I got a lot more names to shout out, but it is funny how I've seen a couple repeating names so far in these lower songs. At number 77, Johnny Hates Jazz, Shattered Dreams.
This is the song that I still constantly mistake for Broken Wings. I'm like, this is the one that goes, take those shattered dreams. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, that's
that
Mr.
is not
Mr.
this song.
That's Mr. Broken Wings. Yeah, I really was not super familiar with this song before we did an episode on it. I did end up putting it on like my 80s playlist that I have. And every time it comes on, I'm like, oh, this is a bop. Like, I don't hate it. But I think good for them making it onto the list, honestly. Just not as a diss of the song, not as a diss of the band, but like I said, we've done over 300 episodes, which means that there's 200 episodes worth of songs that aren't going to make this list at all. I don't think Shattered Dreams is as timeless as, say, our previous mentioned Sister Hazel, All For You. So for it to actually rank above it is like, hey, good work. That is a good achievement.
I actually disagree with you. This song is very familiar to me. I know this song very well. In fact, it had a better chart peak than All For You did. It peaked at number 2 on the Hot 100. It was released in March of 1987. It was on Johnny Hates Jazz debut album, Turn Back the Clock, in 1988. And, Matt, you might remember this. The music video for this song in the U.S., the U.S. version of it, was a black and white video directed by none other than David Fincher.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that part when we were doing the episode.
Yeah. I want to shout out that this song made the list of my friend Mark Rose of Spitalfield. For some reason, I think of him when I think of this song. I think I may have seen him posting about it before. I think maybe he performed it at like an 80s karaoke or something. I don't know. I think about him when I think of this song. So, yeah, it made Mark Rose's list.
All right.
At number 76, Diggable Planets, The Rebirth of Slick, Cool Like That.
We beat to rap, what key beat to lock, but I'm cool like that. 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 I'm cool.
First off, this is only, I think, the second song so far on our list that we have not done an episode on yet, which, depending on how the rest of this list goes, I do think that when we have the full 100, we just have to make it a point that before the year is over, we will do an episode on every song that made the THUNDRED that we haven't covered yet.
Yeah, I'm really surprised we haven't done this one yet. It feels like it very much fits in that sort of early 90s conscious rap that you seem to be a big fan of, right?
Yeah, I never got as into Diggable Planets as the other ones, but I do have a couple of their albums, and they are really, really good. But yeah, I was way more of like De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, but they are in that same early 90s world, for sure.
It's funny. You're not that big of a fan, but you do have a couple of their albums.
Well, I haven't. Listen, you know me. If I go to a place and there's a used CD store, I will scour the racks for stuff that I know I should have in my collection.
Yeah, you sure will. This song was released in November of 1992. They're a hip-hop trio. The song peaked at number 15 in the U.S. in March of 1993. It was their only top 40 single. They are considered jazz rap, and it won the Grammy for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group at the 36th Grammy Awards. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, that's solid.
Yeah. This one made the list of, let me see, who am I going to shout out? Spencer X. I love that we have a listener named Spencer X. At number 75, Tom Cochrane, Life is a Highway.
Life is a highway. I wanna ride it all night long. If you're going my
this is the first episode we ever recorded of the podcast.
Yeah.
I think that that's a historic thing. Because of that, I've signed a lyric of this song on your bathroom wall upstairs.
You did.
And I think that at the time we did this episode, for starters, I wasn't on mic back then. It was just you. It was you and Mike Sabosley. And I would research stuff as you were discussing to add extra things when you needed it. And I think we came down kind of like, this is kind of a lame song. But man, as we've been doing this podcast, I feel like I keep coming back to this song more and more and being like, this song is a bop. That chorus is so undeniable. Like, it is so catchy.
Yeah, the thing is that it was such an early episode that we didn't really know what we were doing yet with this podcast. So much so that when I found out where you were like, no, I'm not going to be on the mic. I'm like, wait a second, what? I thought you were going to like co-host this with me. I was very confused. And we did really make fun of it a lot, make fun of Tom Cochran a lot. I almost feel like maybe we should revisit this for an episode. Like maybe we need to give Tom Cochran a second shake here on the show, because I think it would be much more fair to him at this point.
I think that there is a conversation to be had of looking at like our first 50 episodes, because I think it was around episode 50 when I just became full-time co-host, and there's like a handful of songs where you weren't there and I had to be the fill-in host, to maybe look at as like bonus episodes, like a re-examination of a couple songs from the early year.
Sure. This song, Life is a Highway, was released in September of 1991. Of course, Tom Cochran is Canadian, and this is from his second studio album, Mad Mad World. It was a #1 hit in Canada, and it peaked at #6 in the U.S. I mean, despite only going to 6, I say only, that's still great.
Yeah.
This song has never gone away. In fact, it was later covered by Rascal Flatts for the 2006 Cars soundtrack. And I just think people know this in general. It's been used in commercials and movies, TV shows, whatever. Like, this song never went away.
This didn't make my top 10, but I know that when I wrote down my initial list, I think I had like 20 to 25 songs. This was one of the 25 songs I wrote down.
Okay. Yeah, this one, a couple of the listeners who put this on their list were Roger Bailey and Bob Blouth.
All right.
At number 74, Men Without Hats, The Safety Dance.
I say, we can dance, everything's out of control. We can dance, we're doing it from pole to pole. We can dance.
I mean, again, I think that this is one that makes sense that it should be around this part of the list. I do think that if you're asking someone to think of one-hit wonders, this is going to be one of the first names that they think of. But it does dabble a little bit into novelty, which I don't think, honestly, when we did our deeper dive into Men Without Hats, I think we walked away being like, this band is really cool and definitely not, a novelty band, but this song feels very novelty song despite all of that. And this is one I feel like people bring up in the Facebook group a lot. Like, this is a pretty beloved song in our Facebook group.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Matt, I'm going to shout out a listener of the show, Dave Mattingly. This was his #1 song on his list. And in fact, he co-founded the Men Without Hats fan club back in the 80s.
That's amazing. I love that.
That is amazing. This one also made the list of our listener, John Ganal. Now, I don't know if I agree with you about the novelty music thing. I think this is just a great, like, synth pop 80s song. It was released in 1982. This is another Canadian artist, a Canadian new wave and synth pop band led by Ivan Dorashuk, who wrote the song. He wrote the song after he'd been ejected from a club for pogo dancing.
Yeah.
The song went to #3 on the Hot 100 in September and October of 1983. And of course, Matt, you already know this, but Weird Al did a parody of this. What song was the parody of this? Do you know?
It's one of his worst.
Yeah, it is.
The Brady Bunch.
Yep. The Brady Bunch from In 3D.
I would say it's the worst track on In 3D.
Wow.
But, yeah.
You can watch Mr. Rogers, you can watch Three's Company, and you can turn on Fame or the Newlywed Game or the Addams Family. Say you can watch Barney Miller.
Bad parody, but I think great song. And yes, I am surprised this one isn't a little higher because it is like a go-to. If you said to someone like, quick, name 10 one-hit wonders, it feels like one that people often go to.
Yeah, I think that this could have gone as high. I don't think this would have been a top 10, but I think that this could have gone as high as like that 50 to 40 range.
At number 73, Till Tuesday, Voices Carry.
This is a fun song. I'm trying to remember who the lead singer went on to be way more successful as a solo artist, but I can't remember who it is. It's Amy Mann, right?
Amy Mann.
Yeah, I mean, this was a really fun episode. This was a fun song. Till Tuesday kind of, I remember, kicked ass. When we listened to a few of their other songs, we were like, oh, this is great. Like, I do think that even though Amy Mann, I don't think, has ever had a top 40 hit as a solo artist, I do think that her overall career greatly overshadows the song Voices Carry in so many ways. But this is like, I feel like this is one of those songs that's just begging for some streaming TV show about the 80s to use it right, and it becomes like a whole big new song all over again.
Yeah, Amy Mann has had a very prolific career. She definitely has a big cult following, even though she never had like a solo top 40 song or something, but it doesn't matter. She's had an amazing career. This song, Voices Carry, was released in March of 1985. It's from the Till Tuesday debut album of the same name, Voices Carry. The music video got a lot of exposure on MTV. It's a very memorable video. The song peaked at number 8 on the Hot 100. And speaking of the video, in 2012, for the Amy Mann song Labrador, she did a shot-by-shot satirical remake of the Voices Carry music video. It was directed by Tom Sharpling, and it features John Wurster, John Hamm, and Ted Leo. They're all in the music video.
What an insane list. I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty great. This song made the lists of Kathy McClosey and Pete Pelletier. So shout out to them.
Okay.
At number 72, Mark Morrison, Return of the Mac.
Yes, I cry. Yes, I cry. Come on. Oh, my God. Here I am. Once again.
I love this song. And this was like one that my appreciation astronomically grew after we did the episode. This was our boy Mega Ran came on to talk about this one. Grammy nominated guest Mega Ran.
Yeah.
And this is like, it was almost appropriate for us to be doing it at the time because, you know, we're talking about the most iconic thing about this song besides the chorus is obviously the Genius of Love sample that has been done so many times. And I think shortly after our Mark Morrison episode was when Big Energy from Lotto became a huge hit as well, just proving that Genius of Love sample is just some secret sauce for hit songs, man. It is such a good little piece of instrumentation. Fun guy to you know, do your singing impersonation of. He's got a very memorable voice. And like, this song lived on forever just because of Big Mac commercials in the 90s and early 2000s.
I can't believe you didn't start your reaction with, oh my God.
Oh my God!
I thought that's how you were going to start it.
You
Now,
lied to me.
yes, Return of the Mac was released in March of 1996, written and recorded by British R&B singer-songwriter Mark Morrison. It went to number 2 on the Hot 100 here in the States. It could not pass Mbop. Mbop just had a firm grip on pop culture at that moment.
Can I just mention one of my favorite things we learned doing the podcast from this episode?
Sure.
Do you remember that this was the episode where we found out that Mark Morrison got in trouble when he hired a doppelganger to do his court-required work?
Yeah. Yeah, to do his community service,
His
right.
community service, he found a lookalike and sent him instead.
Well, no. What I think I remember is it wasn't a lookalike. It was a guy who looked nothing like him. That's what I remember about it. And this song, it made the list of Matt Geary, and also it was the number one song on Jay Shirelli's list. So
Okay.
it was
Good work, Jay.
It was-
You helped get this here.
it was at least one listener's number one song. So there you go. At number 71, Madness, Our House.
Brothers got to like to keep, you can't hang around. Our house in the middle of our street. Our house in the middle of our house. It has a-
I think so far this is the most shocking one that we haven't done an episode on yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure there might be another one that pops up, but that is crazy that we have not done Our House by Madness yet on this podcast.
Well, you know, we've done plenty of episodes like this, but Madness is not a band I think of as a one-hit wonder, even though they very much are.
Yeah. Well, because we love ska music. We know like One Step Beyond and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't like a minor hit at some point, but that song, One Step Beyond, didn't even hit the Hot 100. The only other songs that Madness had in the Hot 100 here in the States were a song called It Must Be Love that went to number 33 in 1983, and a song called The Sun and the Rain, which went to number 72 in 1984. So they very much are one-hit wonders here in the States, because Our House went to number 7 on the Hot 100 in 1983. It was released in November of 82. And yeah, man, it's an absolutely incredible song.
It's so good. Honestly, Madness is an insanely good band. They might, as much as I love the Specials, I think of that two-tone 80s ska band, Madness might be the band I like more song for song. Like, I think Specials have higher highs. Like, I think that when Specials has a great song, it's a great song, but I think Madness has a better consistency of quality across their catalog.
Well, I think Our House is such an interesting song. It just really, it modulates a lot, and it's just really interesting musically, and I absolutely love it.
Pencil it in. Next time I come to Pittsburgh, you and I are doing a Madness episode 100%.
We have to. And I think our listener, I brought him up once before this episode, Spencer X, also agrees, because this was the number one song on his list.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hey, everybody, we got numbers 70 through 61 coming right up after a few words from our sponsors.
Looking to elevate your music career? DistroKid is a digital music distribution service that enables musicians to distribute their music to online stores and streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon, Tidal, and many more. DistroKid collects earnings and payments, sending them to you, the artist. With DistroKid, artists unlock a world of possibilities. From easily paying collaborators with splits to securing your music with DistroLock, DistroKid covers all bases. Plus, you can promote your releases with Hyperfollow and create eye-catching visuals with a Spotify Canvas generator, all for free. But that's not all. Introducing the DistroKid app, now available on iOS and Android. Artists can manage their releases, view streaming stats, and withdraw earnings, all from the palm of their hand. And for those looking to perfect their sound, check out Mixia. With its simple interface and customizable mastering options, artists can make their music sound polished and professional within minutes. And don't forget about Instant Share, DistroKid's newest feature. Share large files securely with collaborators, producers, and more, ensuring your music streams at the highest quality. Ready to take your music to the next level? Download the DistroKid app and explore their suite of tools today. Plus, listeners can enjoy 30% off their first year by visiting distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes. That's distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes.
You have one new message. Translating. Disney and Pixar's Hoppers is now available on Disney+.
You could say that again.
Critics are calling it Pixar's funniest movie ever and a wildly entertaining ride. Blizzard Potato. It's certified fresh and verified hot.
Now we party.
This is incredible!
Wow, I am clearing the rest of the day.
Disney and Pixar's Hoppers, now available on Disney+. Rated PG.
Experience a membership that backs your business journey with American Express Business Platinum. Earn 5 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Plus, apply to find out your welcome offer, which could be as high as 300,000 membership rewards points. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Welcome offers vary, and you may not be eligible for an offer. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi? For what?
Better not to know.
Get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in your price for 5 years and see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Have you ever wondered why songs on the radio are popular? Why do certain movies get made, even though the premise seems completely random? Why are concert tickets costing you $3,000, but nobody makes any money touring? Well, on my podcast, Breaking Down the Biz, we answer all those questions and more. I'm Seth Schackner. I have over 2 decades of experience in the entertainment and the music industry, and every week I talk to insiders that lend insight and expertise on the media you know and love, past, present, and future. Subscribe now on your favorite podcasting platform or watch us on YouTube so you never miss a beat. Let's make sense of this industry together.
The internet gives us a glimpse into the crazy happening all around us. Unhinged behavior, personal secrets, unbelievable coincidences. It's all one big circus, and the RR Show is your front row seat. Each week, we curate the wildest Reddit stories just for you. Whether you're into hilarious accidents, insane relationship drama, or pure chaos, these insane confessions are sure to make your jaw drop. Listen to the RR Show weekly on Mondays via your favorite podcast platform, or get your episodes early and ad-free by becoming a member. The RR Show. All of the drama, none of the hassle.
Streaks on the china, never mattered before. Who cared when you drop?
That's Belvedere. Lynn Belvedere.
Mr. Belvedere ran for over 100 episodes on ABC from 1985 through 1989, and on the new podcast Belvedere Bros, we're watching them all. Starring the late, great Christopher Hewitt as Lynn Aloysius Belvedere, the show had just as much heart as it did laughs. Every Friday on the One Hit Thunder feed, we're diving into another episode of Mr. Belvedere, sharing our thoughts on the episode and relating the lessons we take away to our own lives. Go subscribe to One Hit Thunder wherever you get your pods so you never miss an episode of Belvedere Bros. Now, Matt, I probably should have gave you a heads up about this, but there's one song on this THUNDRED that I did not know.
Okay.
It is, at number 70, Scritty Politti, Perfect Way.
I got a perfect way to make a new proposition. I got a perfect way to make a justification. I got a perfect way to make a certain baby.
I also don't know this song.
Yeah.
Enough people voted for this song that it's above, like, Sister Hazel and the Safety Dance and the Cardigans and Harvey Danger, and what was the one we thought was insane? When in Rome. This is 30 spots almost above When in Rome. That is crazy.
Scritty Politti, Perfect Way. You know, I listened to it and I'm like, okay, I kind of like this, but I've definitely never heard it. And I have hosted a One Hit Wonders podcast for 6 years. Like, how do I not know this song? I do remember seeing it, like people suggesting it here and there and seeing it on lists here and there. It went to number 11 on the Hot 100 after it was released in August of 1985. They're a British pop band, and I don't know, man. It's wild that neither of us know this song.
If you had given me $1 million, I would have guessed that this was a song in the last like 15 years by like a rapper or or like a female pop star. You're telling me that this was an 80s song by a group. Like, that's insane.
It's like a British pop synth song. Like, it's pretty cheesy.
I mean, the name's Scritty Perlitty, so yeah, I would imagine so.
Scritty Perlitty. It made the list of listeners such as Troy, a.k.a. Fett, who put it at number 3 on his list, as well as, I already mentioned him, Pete Pelletier, who put it at number 5 on his. So, man, it made more than just those guys' lists, too. It's just something. It's a blind spot for us, man.
That is a huge blind spot. All right. This collection from 80 to 61 has, I think, 3 songs already that we need to do episodes on. So this is a pretty big collection of 20 songs.
We need to get down to the nitty gritty with Scritty Perlitty.
If that wasn't the name of their debut album, they fucked up.
That's for sure. At number 69, Mr. Big, To Be With You.
To show you I'm the one who wants to be with you. Deep inside, I hope you feel it too. Waited on a line of reasons just to be the next to be with you.
This was one of my favorite episodes that we've recorded. Like, the recording was so fun with this one, because we were at your house. It was with Mike Sabosley, and I think we just kept getting into conversations about what we called campfire songs, where like someone's gonna bust out the guitar and everyone's gonna sing. The other thing I remember about this was that we dove real deep into like how insanely talented the guitar playing is.
Yeah.
In Mr. Big. And now I'm blanking on it, but what was the name of the one song? It was the opening song in their album that we kept referencing because it was such a goofy song title.
I can't remember, but
do you remember that though? There was like a song title that we kept referencing.
The song we kept talking about was Daddy, Brother, Lover, Little Boy, parentheses, the Electric Drill song. Yeah, but this band, everyone knows them from this like campfire sing-along song, but they're like a rockin' band. To Be With You was released in November of 1991. It went to number 1 for 3 weeks, but they've been a pretty prolific band otherwise. They released their 10th album in 2024, and they played their final show in February of 2025 in Tokyo, which I think we learned that they were one of those bands that are truly big in Japan.
Yeah, they're huge in Japan.
In fact, I think like later in their career, they had albums that they only released in Japan.
Yes, that is definitely something that we learned. And you know, you can call the song hokey or whatever, but goddamn, wouldn't we all dream to write a chorus as catchy as the chorus to Be With You? Yeah. It is such an earworm.
Yeah, it's pretty cheesy. I always think about Chris DeMakes when I think of this song because I know he hates it.
Yeah.
Andy Valenti had this song at number 2 on his list, which I made a note of. Feels a little high, but okay. At number 68, Elastica, Connection.
Is made.
I love this song, but I've said this a few times. Good for you making the list. I mean, this is a really great song. This is like one of those ones where if you had told me this was at like 99 or 98, I'd be like, oh, sure. But man,
Yeah.
68 feels so high for this song that I think, again, falls into that category that we talked about with Stroke 9, where it's like barely a hit. It's a modern rock hit for this group. And I love this group. This was one of our earliest episodes. This made me actually listen to their whole album. I really liked their album and went out and bought it for myself afterwards. Like, nothing against Elastica, but man, this is really high on this list.
Yeah, it was released in October of 1994 by the Britpop band Elastica, and it didn't go that much higher on the charts than it did on our THUNDRED list because it went to number 53 on the Hot 100. So even calling it a hit is slightly a stretch, but it was a hit. I think maybe it felt bigger than its position on the charts, I should say, because of its MTV presence. It seemed to be a bigger song in the UK, on the charts in the UK. So I don't know, man. I feel like most people I know would know this song, so it feels like a hit.
For a while, I feel like this was like bumper music on MTV. Like, not even that the video was getting played, but like when they would go to commercial, that this would be one of the songs that would be playing like as they played the MTV bumper before the commercial break.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. And Matt, I will note for our listeners that you're wearing a 5 Iron Frenzy t-shirt right now. And Andy from 5 Iron Frenzy had this song at number 4 on his list.
Hell yeah.
And Jeff Nucera had it even higher at number 3 on his list. So definitely Elastica had some people thinking pretty highly of Connection.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
At number 67, Aini Kamosi. Here comes the hot stepper.
I'm the lyrical gangster. Dial emergency number. Still love you like that.
The funniest thing about this is that I am so positive that I will never be able to pronounce that name correctly, that even as you were saying it, I'm like, who's this? Until you said the song title. This is a pretty big, like, I can't believe we still haven't done this episode yet. I'm going to say this summer, this is going to be the summer of the hot stepper here at One Hit Thunder. I think it's long overdue. What a great song. This song's so good, we talked about it on the after party episode of Chris DeMakes, a podcast.
We did.
Or no, I think it was in the Defeat the Makes. It was the Defeat the Makes episode. We talked about it. But yeah, this song rules. Such a banger, so catchy. Even if you have no clue what we're talking about, you know this song from its iconic na 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 part. So
yeah, this song was released in 1994 as the lead single from his 1995 album of the same name, Here Comes the Hot Stepper. It was co-written and recorded by Jamaican dancehall artist Aini Kamosi. Matt, the thing I thought was most interesting, which I'm sure we'll get into more when we actually do this episode, the song peaked at number 1. This is a number 1 song here in the U.S., but the time that it stayed there for 2 weeks, December 17th and December 24th of 1994. So this was
Christmas number 1?
a Christmas number 1, and I can't believe it because this 1994, isn't that the year that Mariah Carey released All I Want for Christmas Is You?
No, that was 90. You said 94?
Yeah.
No, I think it was the year prior. Because 95 was when Daydream came out that had all of those hits, and I think there was a 2-year gap.
All right. This song also went to number 1 in Denmark, New Zealand, and Zimbabwe. And this one made it pretty high on Pete Pelletier's list. I feel like we're talking about Pete Pelletier so much, but his list has really come into play here in these lower part of the THUNDRED. At number 66, Wild Cherry, Play That Funky Music.
This is another one where I do have to say that this is one of my favorite episodes to revisit. We did this one with John Franklin. My favorite part about that episode was us discussing how terrible all of Wild Cherry's album covers are, because they are all really bad. But this song, great song. You record it in the same studio where this song was recorded, I believe we learned, or...
Not in the same studio, but in an early Punchline album, before I even count them as albums now, when we were still a three-piece, but we used the bongos that were used on this song in one of our songs.
You know, the famous bongos that everyone thinks of when they hear... You know, you can't think of Play That Funky Music and not think of the bongos.
This one does have a Pittsburgh connection, because it was when Wild Cherry was playing a show in Pittsburgh that a patron of the establishment said to one of the guys in the band, "Are you going to play some funky music, white boys?" After that, Rob Parisi from Wild Cherry grabbed a pen and pad and wrote the song in about 5 minutes. The lyrics describe the predicament of a hard rock band adjusting to the disco era. And once again, Matt, this is a #1 song. It went to #1 on the Hot 100 in September of 1976, and the single sold over 2.5 million copies. And you'd be hard-pressed to find someone that doesn't know this song.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably one of the most... This song just lived on Jock Jam CDs throughout the entirety of the 90s.
And, of course, if we didn't want to call him a one-hit wonder, Vanilla Ice did his version of Play That Funky Music, which was the other thing that was closest to a hit for him, unless maybe you count the song he did with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The Ninja Rap? Yeah, the Go Ninja Go song.
Right. This one, very popular among the McClosies, because Bob, Lauren, and Aaron McClosey all included this song on their lists. Big Wild Cherry family there, the McClosies.
I'm wondering if the McClosies, because I do remember this, when we first announced the THUNDRED that we were doing this, it was in November, December, and one of our listeners on Facebook posted pictures where he gave a sheet of paper to his entire family to fill out.
Yep, that was Bob McClosey, right.
Well, there we go.
Shout out to Bob. Man, I love that he did that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
At number 65, Carly Rae Jepsen, Call Me Maybe.
Where you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. It's hard to look right at you, baby, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Hey, I just met you.
How are you feeling over there, Chris? I know that it pains you every time that we call her this.
I mean, it's just crazy to me that she is considered a one-hit wonder, but she really is. Now, she also had that song Good Time that was a collaboration with Owl City that went to number 8 that same year. But I guess because it's Carly Rae Jepsen and Owl City, that's kind of like its own thing.
I think because it's technically released as an Owl City song featuring Carly Rae Jepsen. I think that's where we made the exception there, was like, we can't do Owl City because Owl City has Good Time and Fireflies, because those are Owl City official songs.
Okay. All right. If you say so. The next closest on the charts was I Really Like You 3 years later, which I love that song. I love Carly Rae Jepsen. I'm just a big fan of her music. She hits something that, like, it just reminds me of, like, being a kid. She's the queen of bubblegum pop, you know, and, like, it just taps into something that I liked as a really young kid, and she just does it really well. Call Me Maybe hit number 1 in June of 2012 and stayed there for 9 weeks.
Yeah.
The music video, 1.8 billion views.
Yeah.
And it was up for Song of the Year at the Grammys, but you know what it lost to?
No.
We Are Young from Fun.
Yeah, I mean, that was the other. I feel like when you look at the charts for that particular year, I feel like we've done this before, that particular year, there was like 10 songs that hit number 1 because there was so many songs that had like 10 plus weeks in the number 1 spot.
I don't know if your math is right there, unless we had like 100 weeks that year, Matt. But I'll take your word for it. This song sold over 12 million copies that year alone. Obviously, it's a worldwide hit. And as far as lists, this one was pretty high on Andrea Fernandez's list. And it also made the lists of Johnny at Scottish and Jim Legrando. And surprisingly, Matt, I couldn't believe this, not on my list.
I know. What the hell?
Weird. At number 64, Skee-Lo, I Wish.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her. Wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6-foot parlor. I wish I was a little.
I love this song. And this is like, we said this earlier, I think it was last week, we said this about Sir Mix-a-Lot, but like, talk about an undeniable rap one-hit wonder. Like, Warren G, it's like a little iffy because he had like a couple minor hits, but Skee-Lo, like, this was it. And I think for a while he only had the one album. There was such like a controversy with the record company that he kind of didn't put out something for almost a decade. Such a fun song, such a fun video, instantly recognizable. I feel like this is one of those songs that like you just quote unironically in conversation because there's so many memorable lines that you can pull from. I think when we did our deep dive, just like he's actually a pretty good rapper and like seemed like a pretty solid dude as well. Cut his teeth in battle raps late at night. And this was kind of like written as a silly freestyle at the time as a response to somebody else. But yeah, I love this song. I think that this is, we were talking about Diggable Planets being like that feel good, conscious hip hop. And I think Skee-Lo was like that next evolution in the mid 90s of still trying to keep that positive, upbeat hip hop going.
Definitely a really fun song, and also pretty impressive that it was a hit at the time where gangster rap was really kind of taking over, that a song like this could still cut through. It peaked at number 13, and of course, Matt, you brought it up, but maybe you don't remember this. It was released in April of 1995 via, who else? Scotty Brothers Records.
Oh, that's right.
Famously, we think that they're some sort of like mafia cover, like mafia front or something. Yes, of course, this had a pretty memorable music video where Skee-Lo is sitting on a bench like Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump still real hot in 1995 after being such a huge movie in 94. It lost the Grammy for Best Rap Solo Performance at the 38th Grammys to, what would it have lost to in 1995, Matt?
Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is right. Our listener, Kirk Danielson, had this one at number 2 on his list. Also, this one made Jared Galton's list. We've shouted him out several times now. But he also noted that when he hears someone say, I wish, he always interrupts them to start singing the song.
100%.
At number 63, Len, Steal My Sunshine.
I know it's up for me. Making sure I'm not in too deep. Keep me bursting on.
My most recent memory with this song was last year. Punchline was playing in Asbury Park with Wheatus, and we went to a little diner to get something to eat before the show, and this was playing in the diner, and me and you immediately put on our one-hit wonder fun fact hats and started explaining to the rest of the guys at the table, like, this is sampling the song More, More, More from the... This is a really fun song. I mean, I don't know about Len, the band, as far as the rest of their career. Like, there's one or two songs that I think are all right, but this song is such a perfect encapsulation of the 2000s vibe. Like, this is a summer 2000 song, whatever, when I think of that time period.
This song makes me think of my friend and bandmate Trevor Leonard, because at one point we were making a playlist for a party at my house that he was just going to be able to come to. And he suggested we put Len Steal My Sunshine on it. And I'm like, why? Funny enough, Trevor Leonard, his dad is known as Len. So at some point, I think for a little while after that, was referring to Trevor as Len. This song, Steal My Sunshine, was released in June of 1999. Len, of course, is a Canadian alternative rock band, and this is from their third album, You Can't Stop the Bum Rush. The song, as Matt mentioned, is built around a sample of Andrea True Connection's 1976 single, More, More, More. The song hit number 9 on November 13th of 1999.
Nice.
This one, our good buddy and sometime podcast co-host Matthew Milligan had this one at number 6 on his list. And this also made the list of Roger Bailey and Andrea Fernandez.
Hell yeah. Okay.
At number 62, Matthew Wilder, Break My Stride.
You said, ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. I'm running and I won't touch ground. Oh no, I got to keep on moving.
This is a great song. I don't think we liked anything else that we heard from Matthew Wilder, but it doesn't really matter because Matthew Wilder found a whole other level of fame as a producer doing Tragic Kingdom for No Doubt. This is one of those songs that I think there was like a reinterpretation of this that was pretty popular, and I'm blanking on what it was. Right? Did someone do an interpolation of this at one point?
I don't know about that. I do know that at some point this was one of those songs that people were using as the backgrounds of TikTok videos, and it caught a resurgence because of that.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I mean, that chorus, I think that this is one of those songs where the verses, who could give a crap, but that chorus that, ain't nobody gonna break my stride, ain't nobody gonna hold me down, oh no, I got to keep it, like, you're just like, hell yeah, but then the verses come and it kind of like there's a couple songs that are below this that I think should be a little bit high. I do think that should be on the list. 62 feels a little high for it, especially when I'm looking at like Wild Cherry. I think Wild Cherry is a slightly more famous, impactful one-hit wonder song than this one, but it is a bop. I'm glad it's here. Better here than in like the top 50, I would say, but I'm glad it made the list.
okay, well, this song was released in August of 1983. It hit number 5 on the Hot 100 in late 83, early 84. Of course, you mentioned that Matthew Wilder would go on to produce Tragic Kingdom for No Doubt, as well as producing Christina Aguilera, Kelly Clarkson, Miley Cyrus, and more. And then he got into film, and for the Disney film Mulan, he co-wrote the songs and lent his singing voice to the character of Ling. And he went on to be nominated for an Academy Award for it. So there you go. What a career,
Amazing.
Matthew Wilder. Yep.
Amazing.
Pretty amazing. Also pretty amazing that Kirk Danielson had this as his number 1 song on his list. Yep. And Mark Rose also had this one on his list.
All right. One more though. Let's wrap up today's episode. What made it to 61, Chris?
One more to go. At number 61, The Kingsmen, Louie Louie.
Wow, we haven't done this one, have we?
I do not think so.
Wow. That's crazy. That I don't even think that's on the long list that I send people to pick a song. So I've got to add that to our list. I mean, this is a great song, and yeah, this is one where it's like, again, if you're thinking, I bet honestly most people couldn't name the band. If you were like, hey, what's a one-hit wonder? They'd be like, whoever sang Louie Louie.
Here's the thing, and I'm sure we'll get into this when we do this episode. And Matt, I will note, we probably should have AJ Santini as the guest for this one because he put this at number 1 on his list.
Okay, note it.
Okay, so this song was released in April of 1963, but it is actually a cover song of a song that was originally written and released by Richard Berry in 1957, but the Kingsmen version is the standard version. It's the version we all know. The Kingsmen were a band from Portland, Oregon. They released this song in 1963. It peaked at number 2 and sold 1 million copies by April of 1964. And it should be noted, it peaked right before Beatlemania took over. And there's lots of controversy about this song, which we'll get into more when we do an episode. But basically, there was a rumor that the vocals on this were intentionally slurred by the Kingsmen to cover up lyrics that were allegedly laced with profanity, graphically depicting sex between a sailor and his lady. The rumor circulated amongst teens, and it was banned on a lot of radio stations. And then the FBI conducted a 31-month investigation into the matter and concluded that they were unable to interpret any of the wording in the record. So the controversy probably helped too.
Probably. Yeah, this is, again, wow. This was a pretty, of these 20 songs, I think there was 5 that we had to write down as ones that we still haven't done. That's a pretty hefty chunk of, every time I think that this podcast might run out of songs, we do something like this, and I'm reminded that there will always be songs for us to discuss.
Yeah, and this one, Louie Louie, was also, I want to shout him out, it was also on Eric Carroll's list.
Oh, nice.
Man, that's another group of songs there, and I think our list is pretty interesting and pretty different than something that's just put together by, say, like a Rolling Stone or just somebody putting their own list together. I think you got some pretty interesting choices in there.
I agree. And you know what? My 2 predictions are still up in the air. Neither one of them has shown up yet on the list. So I'm excited to see. I'll have to try to think between now and our next recording of what other song I want to throw out there as a top 10 one-hit wonder song. Well, Chris, this was great. I can't wait for the next collection of the THUNDRED.
Now you and all the listeners have to wait yet another week to hear the next 20. And I am still, at this moment, the only person in the world who knows the top 60 songs on the THUNDRED. So I get to feel cool for at least a couple more weeks.
Hey friends, Chris DeMakes here. If you love Chris DeMakes a podcast and you'd like to help us continue bringing you great episodes each week, please take a minute to check out chrisdemakes.com. That's where you'll find our Patreon. Our Patreon supporters get instant access to hundreds of episodes of The After Party, our weekly bonus episode that people have raved to us about for years. You can also get ad-free, early releases of each week's episode of Chris DeMakes a podcast, as well as unedited video versions of the show. Even if you're not sure if you want to sign up, you can go to chrisdemakes.com and sign up for a free account. We'll throw you a free preview episode here and there. We can't thank you enough for all the support. And if you have a few extra bucks and you want to help us keep the lights on, our Patreon is the way to do it. Head to chrisdemakes.com to learn more.
The internet gives us a glimpse into the crazy happening all around us. Unhinged behavior, personal secrets, unbelievable coincidences. It's all one big circus, and the RR Show is your front row seat. Each week, we curate the wildest Reddit stories just for you. Like how her future husband is definitely too close to his mother, or how a guy got revenge on his awful boss by making him lose a major client, or how a wakeboarding mishap sent a blast of water up where the sun doesn't shine. Whether you're into hilarious accidents, insane relationship drama, or pure chaos, these insane confessions are sure to make your jaw drop. Don't miss out on the stories everyone is talking about. Listen to the RR Show weekly on Mondays via your favorite podcast platform, or get your episodes early and ad-free by becoming a member. The RR Show. All of the drama, none of the hassle.